There are some big races, arguably none have been more controversial than the Republican primary for the House seat in District 4. Tom Cole, who you're looking at there, has held down the position for more than 20 years, but ended up in a battle of ads that many of you saw with political newcomer Paul Bondar. Bondar, a wealthy businessman who lived in Texas up until just a few months ago, poured millions of dollars of his own money into the campaign.
And the big question, though, would that spending pay off at the polls? The answer, mostly no. Cole won tonight's primary with a resounding 65% of the votes. Bondar pulled in about 26% of the votes. News 4's Spencer Humphrey has been following this race for the last few months and spoke to both candidates tonight. Spencer.
Yeah, Adria and Kevin, I sure did. And interestingly, even though only one of them won, they both had a pretty optimistic view forward of what this means for their political future. Now, Cole had a packed house at his party tonight, and the message from him was that tonight Republican voters made clear they won't fall for what he called an out-of-stater's attempt to take his seat, and that Bondar's attacks on Cole's voting record and as his record as chairman of the House Appropriations Committee were unfounded. Meanwhile, Bondar tells me he always knew trying to beat someone like Cole would be an uphill battle, and ultimately now he'll support Cole in the general election.
It's the first race of my career I've had an opponent able to substantially outspin me. Feel good about it. I think it's a vote of confidence in the job that I've done over the years by my fellow Republicans, and a sign that being chairman of Approach is a good thing, not a bad thing, as some of my critics say.
And I've already made the commitment. I've already had too many people say, Paul, we need you. Built too many relationships, had too many promises that I will not let people down. I'm going to, regardless of what happens, we'll be back in 26.
That's right, Bondar saying he's going to run again. Meanwhile, you heard Cole mention this was the first time an opponent, in this case Bondar, substantially outspent him. And outspend Bondar sure did by about $2 million. I took a look back at how this race quickly turned from an afterthought to the most expensive and contentious in Oklahoma congressional history in just a matter of a couple weeks.
2 months ago, you would have been hard-pressed to find any Oklahoman who knew the name Paul Bondar. But now, all you have to do is turn on your TV.
Vote Paul Bondar for Congress June 18th. Paul Bondar will push in Congress to set things right.
I support Paul Bondar.
Paul Bondar. Paul Bondar.
Paul Bondar.
We found Bondar has spent more than $5 million of his own money to fund his campaign against sitting Congressman Tom Cole. The ads really started ramping up after I was the first reporter to find Bondar and interview him. It was unclear then if Bondar actually lives in Oklahoma. He wasn't in Oklahoma during our interview.
Right now, I am at an office.
Gotcha. Is that office in Oklahoma?
No, I'm not in Oklahoma right now.
And that gained a lot of attention. Tom Cole's campaign even used it in some of their ads against Bondar.
Texan Paul Bondar, who's desperately lying about where he lives.
Ultimately, though, Cole's campaign spent just about $2 million fewer dollars than Bondar's, coming in a little over $3 million in total.
Now again tonight, Bondar told me he plans to run again in 2026. I asked Cole what he thought about that. He told me he's not concerned about 2026 right now since he still needs to get past the general election in November.